Yes, thank you, thank you very much. And we are live, we are live, we are live, we are live. Good evening, good evening. Yes, we are live. Today we are live on Facebook and we are live on YouTube. And unfortunately, I couldn't connect myself live on Instagram or Twitter. But I know one of the days that we are going to do it. We have done it before on Instagram, and we've done it before on YouTube, and we have done it before on Twitter. And this is meant to, you know, get to as many people as is possible. So hopefully you all can hear me loud and clear, especially those on YouTube. Please just put your thumbs up on YouTube if you can hear me. Thumbs up, press that button for thumbs up if you can hear me loud and clear. Because, like I was doing yesterday, I am testing my systems to make sure that they are working very well. I'm working on the microphones. Sometimes people say, oh, they can't hear anything, and sometimes they say, oh, we can hear, but you're talking like you are deep down in a mine or in a shaft, something like that. And it can be difficult. And by the way, it's a one man show. I do the script, I write the script, and I also do the broadcasting. I do all the mixing, I do all everything, the filming, and you can talk about it. It's a one man show, and I love it. I love it. I do this because I love doing it. I don't do this for a very big profit. Profit yangu inini ndofunga kuti ichabva kudenga, ndichaiwana ndaenda kudenga, ndokwandichaonera profit yangu. And I so much believe that God will reward me accordingly, and this is what the word of God says. So yes, I don't do this to get any monetary uh, value or to get any public recognition. If by chance people recognize me, like so like zvadakamboita rimwe zuva, we were at a gathering, and people, and somebody say, I recognize you. I think it's you. I think it's you. Let me see. Then and they went to YouTube, and they say, this is you. And I said, yeah, it's me. And I say, oh, thank you very much for the good work. The music that you put on YouTube is really uplifting, and it takes us to so to elsewhere spiritually. And I said, may God be blessed. And if this is good for you, then yes, Mwari ngaakudzwe. So yes, vana vaMwari, I am going to try and click on a few buttons to invite uh, mashamwari ari elsewhere. And please, if you have got anyone waunoziva, wanofunga kuti no, I think they should come and listen to the evangelist. I'm going to talk politics. I'm going to talk about Zimbabwe. Let's talk Zimbabwe today. I try to talk about Zimbabwe to encourage ourselves vana vaMwari mufunge zvenyu now and then, because zvinhu hazvina kumira zvakanaka. Zvinhu hazvina kuita sei? Zvinhu hazvina kumira zvakanaka munyika yese, pasi rese. Zvinhu hazvina kumira zvakanaka. At the minute, as we are talking, the cases COVID-19 are seriously, let us be serious about this thing. They are going up. They are going up. And COVID iri kuuraya people. Hazvina basa kuti uri chef here, hazvina basa kuti uri general muarmy here, hazvina basa kuti uri doctor, uri consultant, uri chii. COVID is cutting across the divide. It's cutting across people. Hazvina basa kuti uri mufata, hazvina basa kuti uri muparidzi, hazvina basa kuti uri mwana wesangano. COVID is wreaking havoc throughout. So what I'm urging vana vaMwari ndezvekuti, please, nyaya yekunyeperana kai, nyaya yekufurirwa, munoona chinoitika ndechekudai so. And this is the truth. and it's only the truth that shall set you free. Chinoitika ndechekuti zvinhu zvenhema so zvinoita kunge pornography. Nhema dzinoita kunge pornography. Nhema dzinoita kunge mavidhiyo kana maaudios violence on social media. Nhema, it's like it's propaganda, and dzinofamba very fast, dzinofamba very quickly, and people, for some reason, we are kind of wired to look for lies, to look for things that deceive us. Kunyange tichinyatsoziva, ndosaka hove dzichibatwa, ndosaka hove dzichibatwa nekukandirwa masisi, ndosaka mhuka dzichibatwa nekuisirwa things like decoys. They are easily caught nemusungo dzakaisirwa tunhu twekunyepa, nekuda kuti for some reason we are so much attracted towards things that are really not true. That's why propaganda is very powerful, and you see ZANU-PF will be using propaganda. And shall I also say, possibly, nekufamba kwenguva, you never know. Even if MDC alliance comes, yapinda power, it just sends propaganda to a certain level. We all do a little bit of propaganda. Propaganda is proper lying. It's lying that looks so convincing, in lying that makes people believe that it's real, but it is a lie. Just tell me, how has the ruling party, how has ZANU-PF in Zimbabwe managed to convince people after stealing an election that they won an election? Is because of propaganda. They just tell people fibs, they tell lies, and people of Zimbabwe have believed. Let me tell you, Mugabe on record, this is the truth. If you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on Twitter, if you follow me, my status is on WhatsApp and elsewhere on YouTube, you will find kuti Mugabe ega nemuromo wake akanyatsotaura akati tsvangirai 2008 tsvangirai MDC won the election by 76%. It won. Mnangagwa nemuromo wake uyu, kwete nemuromo wemwe munhu, nemuromo waMnangagwa. And this is clearly on social media. This is for the world to see, to hear, and to look. He said, vanamutasa vakanga vatopfeka mabhegi, vatobuda mumaofisi, vatotora tunhu twavo vakutoenda kumusha. Mugabe actually had already started packing his bags because aiziva kuti ndaluza, and it was the right thing to hand over power. But he was told by some people within ZANU-PF and the army generals that no, you don't have to worry about that. Don't worry, stay put. So who doesn't know that? And for some reason, the ruling party has managed to convince people, to convince possibly you, my dear brother and my dear sister watching right now. You have been convinced that, no, it's a lie. ZANU-PF MDC did not win the elections. That's why we went to a runoff. 2013, the same thing. 2018, the same thing. ZANU-PF has never won a free and fair election against its opposition, strongest opposition, MDC alliance. It has never, and it will never. And people in ZANU-PF know this. But because of the power of propaganda, they convince people. Not only also because of the power of propaganda, but pane kamwe kamweya kari mumunhu kekuzvinyepera, kekuzvifadza, kunonzi kuzvifadza. A lot of us Zimbabweans, because we have been traumatized, tiri kuzvifadza, we are denying, the denial. We are denying the truth. And denying a truth can be very therapeutic. Pros and cons. If we look at pros and cons, denial can be a safety net. If you refuse to accept reality, you can feel a little bit secure and you can feel a little bit happy. Just imagine musikana kana kuti mukomana iwe warambwa nemusikana patoti mai ana undiramba uya I think achachinja pfungwa dzake kuswera mangwana. Such a belief will make you feel a little bit relieved and comfortable and hopeful. and it can drive you forward rather than accepting. But the truth is, nothing else but the truth shall set us free. So we all know, Zimbabweans. If you didn't know and you are a Zimbabwean, that the current government, since 2008, they have been in power illegitimately and they know it, then you are in denial. You are one of those people vari kuzvifadza kuti ndikangobhilivha ini kuti no, MDC inogara ichidyiwa pamaelections, hazvinyanye kundirwadza, zvinoita kuti zvindirerukire pakugamuchira kutongwa neZANU-PF. But the truth is, ZANU-PF has never won a free and fair election against its strongest opposition. Even Tekere chaiyo akadya ZANU-PF. Well, by the way, we're talking about Tekere. I think we all know those wakura seni vane chirevu chakachena seni kudai so. I think you know there was a meeting that was held between Tekere and Mugabe, and the contents of that meeting is still a blackout. Now that these two guys are dead, I think the files can be declassified now so that we can hear what these guys discussed. In the, I think, early 90s, that's when they had that meeting at State House. But I can tell you, Tekere told Mugabe, this is what I think, and my thinking is not very far away from the mark. I will tell you, when it is declassified, this is what Tekere told Mugabe. He told Mugabe that, wona shamwari, iwewe chaiye ndinoziva ende iwe unoziva kuti ndoziva kuti pauri ipapo haufanira kunge uripo, and you know that you are not supposed to be there, and there are a lot of things, bad things that you did for you to be there, and I know it, and you know that I know it. So nyaya yako yekuda kuswera uchidzinganisana neni uchindigacreatera tumanyaya tumastories kwekuti hey, ndiri treasonous and I'm doing this, kanda pasi, svipira pasi, chera kakomba izvozvi, muno svipira mate, ufushire, uzvirege. Because from that meeting, we never heard about anyone tampering around with Comrade Edgar Tekere. What am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is, wana vamwari maZimbabweans, let us face the truth, because the world knows the truth. And if we continue to live in denial, Zimbabwe will never be a great nation. It will always be a nation where people vanoita upenyu hwekungwavha kuine murambatsvina every now and then, and that is going to hurt a lot of people. It is going to create a lot of tensions within society. It is going to be a ticking time bomb. It can take 100 years. It's like Gukura Wundi. Mnangagwa might refuse to say I'm sorry today, but I will tell you, even if it takes 100 years, a president of Zimbabwe will have to say to the people in Midlands and Matabeleland, on behalf of the government of Zimbabwe, we are sorry for what we did. And it is only then that total healing will begin. This is when people will begin to let go. Because unless people learn to apologize, unless people learn to say, we are sorry and forgive us for the wrongs, we will never move forward. I'll tell you, even in your family, even in your relationship, even at your workplace, if you do not promote a culture of transparency and apology, pakambani ipapo panoitwa zvinorova ende kambani iyo haibudirire. In this country, we have got what is called a duty of candor, where you are open and transparent towards the family, parents, or whatever of your clients and tell them the truth about what happened. Even if it is you who caused a death by negligence or by error, by omission, by commission, you have got to stand up and be transparent and say, you know what? A, B, C, D happened, and we are sorry. And when we are such transparent, it is only then we learn to correct our mistakes of the past. Today, the reason why the abductions are continuing in Zimbabwe, torture is continuing in Zimbabwe, killings, extrajudicial killings happening in Zimbabwe, all this oppression, these arrests that are happening in Zimbabwe, it is because we have denied the fact that Gukura Hundi happened. And this commission that was set recently, Obed Gutu should resign. Simple and straightforward. Look what happened to Matt Hancock here. Ekungonhafana nemusikana nemukadzi dai kuti kuzimbabwe mudhara uyu anonzani mudhara the former vice president Kembo Mohadi anga akuramba kuenda kuti handiendi ndichatozora president. All these guys, they should resign. Obed Gutu should just resign. You cannot trivialize. You cannot trivialize Gukura Hundi. To say Gukura Hundi is a little, it is never tiny. It is never little. And it will not be, because it is a big thing. We are aware and we know there are Chimoyo, Tembwe, name them, Nyadzonya massacres. All of them, they are as big and they cannot be trivialized. There is nowhere where panouraiwa munhu chero mumwe chete panotrivializwa. It is a big thing. And if Obed Gutu was humane, what he would do was to just say, you know what, guys, I'm really sorry for uttering such a statement. And because of that, I am now compromised. I am stepping down with dignity. And boom, it's gone. There is power in letting go when you have erred. There is power in that. But unfortunately, in our country, Zimbabwe, unotonzwa kuti minista akarova munhu mbama muofisi, unotonzwa nakazembe kazembe kuti vakanga vari kun'anga and evidence ritoripo, unotonzwa kuti vanhu vakaitana all this, and they just continue as though life is normal. Why is that happening? It is because Zimbabweans, we have adopted this sense of zvino zvingaitwe sei, ndimwari ndozvinoita mwari, aiwa mwari vachatirwira, hayo ibvai mani. There is no way. Unoona, inini ndinoda kuona pakauya mwari nehuni mumba mako iwewe dzapera. Ndinoda kuona pakauya mwari mumba mako iwe une bhegi remari usingaende kubasa. Musanyeperwe. Mwari anoda vanhu vanosimuka vachiita zvinhu. The story of the children of Israel inogara ichikotwa nevanhu. Vana vaIsraeri vakagara 420 years vari muEgypt, but nguva yaMwari payakanga yakwana, Mwari akangozouya akavasunungura, havana kumboita. All that is a lot of rubbish. That's not true, because we hear. We hear. Some of you don't even know it, because very few people preach about it. The revolution in Egypt was started by Moses. And because Moses started the revolution, God then fueled it with his power. Now, when Moses turned 40, he left the palace because he knew that was not where he belonged. And he went to relate and live with his own people. That is when he saw an Egyptian mistreating or ill-treating. Sezviri kuitwa kuZimbabwe, sezviri kuitwa kuZambia, sezviri kuitwa kupi kunana Tanzania nemaChinese. Unoona muChinese achirova mwana weZimbabwe kumubutsura, vamwe vese vakatarisa so vakapeta maoko kana kuti. I'm not saying we should be attacking them willy-nilly. No, I'm saying, but we shouldn't be just standing. Because such a thing would never happen in China. It would never happen. Why does it happen in front of your own yard, in your own country, in our own country? Why do we let it happen? And then we just say, we are compromising our own freedom because we want bread on the table. Yes, it is important to have bread on the table, but how is the bread and chicken and butter coming to your table? Are you letting bad things happen to your neighbors? Are you letting bad things happen to you? Are you letting yourself be abused for the sake of bringing butter and bread to your table? I think that is not right. That is wrong. And Moses akasimudza ruoko akatanga chimurenga. Now, there is a verse, Nehemiah chapter 2, verse 1 kusvika part 3. I want to read it. Munzwe zvinotaura. And kune vamwe vanotaura kuti ndinonakidzwa zvangu pasi panapa. Kune vamwe vanotaura kuti hanzi no, vanhu vemachechi havafaniri kupindira mune zvinhu zvepolitics. Rubbish. Ukanzwa munhu anodaro so mutaura kuti evangelist said that is rubbish because chimurenga chakatanga naMwari. Chimurenga chakatanga naMwari. Hachitangwe nemumwe munhu, chinotangwa naMwari. Vana vaIsraeri kuti vabude muEgypt, God had to fight. And the Israelites themselves had to fight kuti vapinde muKenani. They had to fight. And up to today, Israel is continuing to fight so that it maintains the country that flows milk and honey. Wakangoisa futi pasi chete, Iran inowaita zvimwe zvinhu. And this is the truth. But munonyeperwa. Shoko rinobva rataura, shoko rinoti kudzai vakuru venyu. Oh yes, vakuru ngavakudzwe, vatungamiriri venyika ngavakudzwe. But look at the quality yemutungamiriri wenyika anonzi naPaul Mukudzei. It is one who protects the rights of the people. One who respects human rights. One who provides for his nation. One who puts his life for his nation. But matare edu aya. Ask kuita izvozvo. Musajeredzerwe. I know a lot of people. Recently, we have been seeing people running around because my celebrity, my pastor, my celebrity, my prophets, my celebrity, this and that. What you don't know and what they know is that they are being used so that they can make money out of ZANU-PF. Who has not heard ZANU-PF bragging? If you want to make business in Zimbabwe, you must be seen to be supporting ZANU-PF. If you want to be given a tender in Zimbabwe, you must be seen to be supporting ZANU-PF. So what sort of a country is that chooses, that segregates its own people? A country that actually uses and you think it's right? Enonyemwerera, totofara, tototi aiwa zvakatongonaka zvakadaro. Vana vaMwari ngatisadaro. Kana zviri zvatiri kudzidzisa vana vedu mudzimba umu, kana zviri zvatiri kudzidzisa vazukuru vedu mudzimba umu, then Zimbabwe is never going to be a flourishing nation. Zimbabwe will never be like the United Kingdom or beat the United Kingdom. It will never beat the United States of America. It will never beat Germany. It will never beat what's that? Uganda. It will never beat South Africa. It will never beat Botswana. It will never beat UAE. It will never beat Dubai. It will not. Why? Because if you are telling your children and your grandchildren that no, 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 you know what? You don't have to lift your finger. You don't have to do anything. Wait for God. God will one day save you. Yes, that's very true. But it is God who puts the spirit of fighting within people. Goliath na David. Muchinyeperwa ndiri kutaura kuti vafundisi nevaparidzwa mavanenge vachikunyepa because vari kudya. Chase them, check them out. Ukanzwa mufundisi, ukanzwa muparidzi kana ukanzwa bishop anotsigira ZANU-PF today, they have benefited from all these programs. It's either they've got money from Command Agriculture. It's either they've got money, loans from the banks for development of all sorts of unknown things, and that money never to be paid back. It's either they've been given a car, they've been promised land. They are just defending it because of their own pockets. Please, let us be honest with ourselves. Those understand that when honesty, mukanditaurira kuti iwewe nhasi unoyu hauzvizivi, you are denying kuti iwewe 2008 vanhu vakasafa, vakarohwa, vakadimburwa maoko, vakadimburwa zvigunwe, vakapiswa, vamwe nanhasi havazikanwi kwavari. Kana uchinditaurirewo kuti hauzvizivi and you are denying kuti zvakaitwa neZANU-PF, then you have got a big problem. You have got a big problem. It's maybe trauma. Because remember last time I've said, kune inonzi Stockholm syndrome, a syndrome that usually is evident in people who have suffered trauma for a very long time. They've lived under traumatic circumstances to the extent that they feel the perpetrator was their God, is their savior. And they actually will stand up to say, no. Anga achindibatsira uyu munhu ane mutsa, ane rudo, anondida zvikuru kwazvo. And this is exactly what ZANU-PF does. It terrorizes people, it beats people up, it does all this. And what do they do next time? They bring a lorry full of matemba, mafuta, chibage, and all those things. And they give you, and they give people. And people think, yes. Let me tell you. Kana uchifunga kuti zviri right izvozvo, then we as Zimbabweans, we have got a big problem. We are not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. We need to change our mentality. We need to change our mentality. Let me read. I want this. I don't want this to be too long because I'm also wanting people, across the divide to access it and listen it without consuming a lot of their bundles. Ndida kutangira paverse 2. Mukaitangira paverse 1. Okay, let me start from verse 1 to 3. In Shona. Pamwedzi waNisan, negore rechigumi namaviri rokutonga Artaxerxes, kuzoti waini yagadzikwa pamberi pake, ini ndakaitora ndikaipa kuna mambo. Ini ndakange ndisina kusuwa pamberi pake kwete. This is Nehemiah. This is the story of Nehemiah. Hanzi, he was the wine tester for the king, and he was, a safety net between poison and the king. Anotanga testa chikafu, anotanga testa zvinwiwa zvisati zvasvika kuna mambo. Kuti kana mine poison inotanga yabata iye. So this was the moment when new wine was being served, and he went with it. Hanzi ndisina kusuwa pahope yangu. Then ipapo mambo akandibvunza achiti, wakasuweiko zvausingarware? Hapana chinokunetsa kunze kweshungu dzemwoyo bedzi. Ndakabva ndatya kwazvo. Ndakati kuna mambo, mambo ngaararame kusvikira nekusingaperi. Chiso changu chingarega kusuwa seiko kana guta rina makuva amadzibaba angu richiparadzwa kudai namazambara aro achipiswa nomoto. Mwari waropafadze kuverengwa kweshoko ravo nekuda kuti rinokosha. Now, Nehemiah he was pretending to be happy. Sezviri kuita maZimbabwe dzizvi that sometimes tiri kupfeka a face as though everything is normal because we want to impress people. We want to impress the employer. We want to impress the ruling party. We want to impress the world. But the world cannot be impressed by that because they can see. And the king said, I can see in your face, you are sad. But the sadness in your face is not because you are unwell. You are physically well, but psychologically, your heart is troubled. What is wrong? And listen to what Nehemiah said. Nehemiah said, may the king be praised. May praise go to the king. Hallelujah. And he said, how can I be happy when guta rangu rusvingo rwese ruri kuparadzwa? How can I be happy when the graves of my forefathers are being desecrated by goats, pigs, and foreigners? How can I be happy? I have said several times, vana veZimbabwe, chimondiudzaiwo kuti, how do you find sleep? Kana kuti uri kutombotora nguva yaunonamata kuti Mwari, please, ndakurara, raduka zuva, garai neni tenzi, uchiona kuparadzwa kuri kuitwa property yevanhu. Just look at how people's property is being destroyed. Muramba tsvina. Ask yourself this question. Why now? Why now? Vakamboregerereka vanhu vachivaka kusvikira pastage iyoyi. Chii chiri kudhiraivha vanhu kuti vake kusvika pastage iyoyi? Mutukudza akaimba akati, kutema mune musoro harisi riro dambudziko. Chapa musoro kudzimba ndiro dambudziko. Saka ndo rinofanira kuti rirapwe iroro. Nehemiah said, how can I be happy? How can I celebrate? How can I have a face that is really, really happy and celebrating? When the graves of my forefathers are being desecrated. Just imagine. In this 21st century, mambo kwazvimba anotaura nyaya yekuti in this 21st century makatyora chivanhu saka zvinhu zvinogona kumira, saka Mugabe anofanira kuti afukunurwe muguva. Why not let the family of this grieving Mugabe rest? We are not going anywhere. Kana tiri kutandanzana netsvimbo, we are not going anywhere. Kana tiri kufunga kuti pane madhimoni anoita kuti nyika itadze kubudirira, yet tichiziva isisi kuti pane vanhu vanoburitsa gold every day. You don't tell me kuti C10 yemuZimbabwe, security agents dzemuZimbabwe hadzizive panobuda negold kuti ndivanani vari kubuda negold. Iro tichiziva richimainwa, tinoziva parinoprocessera, tinoziva nekwarinofanira kuenda. Motaura kuti vanhu ivava vazizive. And then we are fooled by propaganda and say, no. In Nehemiah, it was just a demo. They were trying to set up kuti vaone kuti masystems avo akaita sei. And you believe it. Hapana kwatiri kuenda, maZimbabweans. My call to you is to be truthful. It's only the truth that will set us free. The truth shall set us free. The world knows. Sanctions. Zimbabwe is not under sanctions. It is not under sanctions. Okay, ngatimboti iri pamasanction. Cuba. Some of you, since you were born, you know that Cuba has been under a United States of America embargo. But how many teachers, doctors have gone to Cuba? How many people from Zimbabwe have gone to Cuba to train as teachers, doctors, and other fields? Thousands. But it's under sanctions. Right now, Cuba has developed its own coronavirus vaccine, but it's under sanctions. They have got their own, they said sanctions or no sanctions. This does not stop Cuba being Cuba. And they don't talk about it. But what's wrong with Zimbabwe? What's wrong with you? Who is meant to believe kuti kurara kwauri kuita pasi iwewe uri kutadza kutenga mubhedha once is because yemasanctions. Iwe uchizwa kuti diamond rinocherwa pamaranga apa rine mutengo une mutsindo, goridhe rinocherwa kwekwemeso rine mutengo une mutsindo, zoti black granite riri kutorwa kwamutoko kwaump rine mutengo une mutsindo. You know it, but you are told kuti masanctions. Why is it that you do not ask a simple question? Tell us. But we have got all these minerals. What is happening with the money? Kuvama minerals. Why is it that we cannot even make our own roads kuti dzive dzetara? Isusu tine matombo acho muno, tine koro yacho. Is it a sanction that is causing that? No. But you are made to believe. Mukaunzirwa ma-t-shirts. Chakubai ma-t-shirts. Oh, yeah. Kupemberera. How can you really, a human being, unomberera maoko kurohwa kwembi yako? Wakafanana nevana. Handisati ndamboona musha inini unoti baba vari kurova vana, kana kuti baba vari kuteresana kurova mai, vana votoridza maoko votopembera kufarira kuti yes, nhasi amai vachakindiswa nababa, kana kuti mwana ninga achakindiswa nababa nhasi kana kuti namai nhasi, votoridza maoko votoomberera. Handisa ndazvionei. But look at some of us, kana tiri pamarali ipapa, muchingokura taiti masoja rovai tichingotonga. Why can't you just use your common sense? Common sense. Saka vanhu vachizoti common sense unonetsa kuwana. Why can we not see that we are just being used? And it's time for us to say no. We don't condone violence. We don't want people to be violent. We just want peace. Munomboziva kuti India, Mahatma Gandhi, chinhu chaakaita muIndia, muIndia hamuna kuridzwa futi popopopo kana kuita zvemabhombu kuti maBritish abve muIndia. No. Power of the mouth. The power of the truth. Iyo yandiri kutaura panapa iyoyi. The truth, kuudza vanhu chokwadi kuti vazive vaone chokwadi kuti no, you are being abused and you are being misled. And the truth is, kurara kwauri kuita pasi hama yangu, kutadza kutenga mubhedha kwauri kuita, kutadza kutenga bhutsu iri decent kwauri kuita, it's not because yemasanctions. Because dehwe remombe muZimbabwe ririmo. Saka dehwe remombe kuti rigadzire bhutsu haridi chinhu chinobva kuUnited States kana kuEurope. Chinoda local solutions to our local problems. Nzara yatinoitika muZimbabwe haitike nekuda kuti pane masanctions. No. Land tinayo, nzizi tinadzo, fertilizer irimo muZimbabwe, kudorova ndo kunocherwa ivhu riri kunogadzirwa fertilizer. We got everything. But there is somebody who is squandering the resource, who is squandering the money. Ari kudya ega. And this is the truth. Kana ouya anokupai uvhuruvhuru. And we are settling for uvhuruvhuru and say, it's better than nothing. Come on. Let me tell you the truth. And this is the truth that will set you free. Until you stand up to register to vote. Kana uri mukomana wechidiki, musikana wechidiki, mai wechidiki, baba wechidiki, wasati waregister kuvota. Until that day you stand up to go and register to vote, then you are not going to see change in Zimbabwe. Kana zvanzi kwakuvotwa, if you are registered and you do not go to vote and say kuvota kwacho hakubatsiri, you will never see change in Zimbabwe. You need to stand up, go register, and go and vote for change. And this is what is going to bring change in Zimbabwe. And you know where change is. Change is not within the ruling party. Let me tell you the truth about the ruling party. They know it themselves. It's only they, macupboards is an and who doesn't know that or who denies that is just living in denial. He is just trying to find something to comfort themselves. ZANU-PF, they are killers. I saw it with my own eyes. UMP in Nemasangwa. I saw it. And you have got testimonies yourselves. They are abusers. They are aggressive. We know it. Who doesn't know it? It's the truth. And they boast about it. We are the police. We are the army. We are the Air Force. We are the presidium. We are this. What is that about? That is about kubrega, the violence. We have got the power and you cannot touch us. And who doesn't know it? And they think the world doesn't know it. You cannot hoodwink the world. The world is now informed. The world is now aware. The world does not need anyone to go and tell them to impose sanctions on Zimbabwe because no one has got that power. It is up to the United States government, after it has proved beyond reasonable doubt that Zimbabwean government is abusing its own people, it's not promoting human rights. Simple and straightforward. And then they say, if that is what you are doing, we are not going to give you this. Now, tell me, my dear brothers and sisters, pamatownship penyu paipai, right? Pana baba wewe waunoziva vanonwa wazvinosemesa. Vanouya pabhawa makuseni 10 o'clock vanenge vatopo kudhara, ndio vanogochera vanhu nyama, ndio vanodiwa vachinwa wadhakwa, vanotozera zvekuzotorwa nebhara. And kana vasvika kumba kwacho vanovhorongodza vana, vanorova mukadzi, vanorova vana, accusing them all sorts of things. Then wekubhawa, wekubottle store kuya kwevoti, nhoroondo yako tainzwa ende takaiona and tinoiziva because we are within this local area. We know. So because of your behavior, we are no longer selling you beer in this bottle store. Haumwe doro pana apa iwe. And hatidi kuona pana upinde pagedha. Ukapapinda pagedha kudaidzira security. Then baba uyo wati no, you guys hamfaniri kundisira masanctions ekuti ndiuye pabottle store pana because mari yacho yandikuda kutengesa panapa ndeyangu, hamfaniri kudaiso vana ava ndevangu ndofana. That's lots of rubbish. It's simple and straightforward. I don't see where you don't get it. I don't see where people don't get it. Is it because we are so afraid? The people of Swaziland have said no. We do not condone violence. We do not support violence at all. But sometimes when you put people in a corner, no matter how small they are, hanzi kambwa kaanda katopicha chako chaiko kakaisa mukona kanogona kutsamwa kakapedzera kakuruma. Inini, I big up Zimbabweans because we are peace-loving people. We are hardworking. We love one another. If only we had the correct leadership, the leadership with the interests of the people at heart, then Zimbabwe, kutaura kuno kwatiri kuita. Dai muZimbabwe musina nzira, isina tara, inoenda kumusha kwevanhu. Dai musina, dai nzira dzese dziri tani. Because hapana chinotikonesa kuita izvozvo. Zimbabwe is a very small population. Dai kutaura kuno kwatiri kuita, mugari wese wemuZimbabwe 41 years after independence achigara mumba yakavakwa nezvidhina yakapfirirwa nemarata achirara pamubhedha achinwa mvura yakachena pamba pake pane magetsi. Kutaura kuno kwatiri kuita. Dai kutaura kuno kwatiri kuita munhu wese ari within a walking distance of a general hospital. Or an upper class clinic ine zvese, kwete kliniki inomanagwa just nurses only. No, with a resident doctor. Kutaura kuno kwatiri kuita dai zviripo, dai mwana wese achifunda muchikoro chakavakwa nezvidhina chakapfirirwa nemarata, chine ceiling, chine magetsi, chine running water, achitarisa pakombiyuta achidzidza muklasi. Taura kunoku 41 years after independence. Dai kutaura kunoku every civil servant, every worker achitambira mari yekuti haacheme kuti nhai mwedzi unopera rini, unless ari too exorbitant, ari too wasteful. Kutaura kuno dai Zimbabwe it is secure in as far as food is concerned, because we have got flowing rivers throughout the year that we can dam and we can irrigate minda mirefu, maprazi iri winter, summer, kunana chiredzuku dai kuchibva chibage year round. Dai kutaura kunoku kusina munhu kana achifamba zvake netsoka dzaadhamu dzisina kupfeka, iri tori interest yekuti ndida kutongonakidzwa zvangu kufamba netsoka. The reason why we haven't reached that stage 41 years after independence is because the current ruling party is trusting, filling their own pockets more. And they know it. They know. The reason why they refuse to vacate office is they know. Tikapinda ipai. The first thing that we will do is to secure every penny wherever it is in this world. And the world knows where every penny that belongs to Zimbabwe is. And everybody that has disappeared is going to be accounted for. And people are going to go to jail. And this is going to happen. It might not happen today or 2023, but it surely will happen. And I've said, pane mazita achadzimwa pairoseka. We might not exhume them, but we just remove names from the tombs. Because they don't deserve. There are some people who do not deserve to be there. Kune vamwe vanhu chero vakavigwa kumamisha avo, who would require their names obliterated from the tombstones because of the atrocities, because of the bad things. It would be good for history not to know where they are laid to rest. I know kana munhu afa zvatopera asisina zvaanoita, but sometimes seeing their names on the tombstones brings back bad memories. And ZANU-PF is scared to death about that. But you know what? This is the moment. This is the time to say, forgive us. Yes, it was a moment of madness. But this is the time to say, you know what? Guys, Zimbabwe is for Zimbabweans. Tiri vana vehuvana, vana vevhu, vana veZimbabwe. Nyika ndeyedu tose. Ngatiitongei murunyararo. Therefore, awina, ngatonge Zimbabwe ienderere mberi. And lastly, I always talk kana ndataura Zimbabwe. When I have done a talk Zimbabwe, I always finish by talking to the soldiers, talking to the police officers, ma-CIO, anti-terror unit, ma-prison guards, ma-magistrates, ma-judges, ma-prosecutors or persecutors, all security organs, ma-ministers, ma-MPs, ma-councillors, ma-senators, but especially those guys in the security sector and the judiciary. Remember, you are still human. You are still human beings. Haurase umunhu hwako nekuti wamusoja. Haurase umunhu hwako nekuti wamupurisa. Haurase umunhu hwako nekuti uri judge, uri magistrate, uri prosecutor. Haurase umunhu hwako. Umunhu hwako remains. Iwoyo kuva munhu. I know there are psychopaths out there, sociopaths, narcissists out there. Yes, they have got a mental disorder. But it's not the majority. The majority, we are humans. We are human beings. And what I ask for, and what I pray for, and request kindly, with loving kindness, forgiveness, empathy, compassion, and warm-heartedness, is for you to remain human and do the right thing. When you are called to act or to action, musoja kuva nepfuti hazviri kuti unongopfuura munhu pese pese. Life, once it is gone, that is it. You know what? A building can be bent. Yes, buildings are peaceful. You know, those buildings can be rebuilt. Insurances can pay back or whatever, even if they don't pay back. They can be rebuilt. And they can flourish again. But a life that is lost, it is lost forever. Never to flourish on this planet. But yes, in heaven, it will. But we are talking of here, life where we know where we are. Let us be reasonable. Mapurisa, you don't have to beat up people. No. Security agents, CIO and so on. You don't have to abduct people. You don't have to torture people. You don't have to abuse and to be violent. Magistrates kungotonga nezvakangonaka, so mhosva imhosva. Hanzi muroyi munhu akaswinywa kana akabayiwa anochema, anoridza mhiri kana kuti anobuda ropa. Muranda nyangoipa sei, nyaya yake mhosva yake haitongwa asipo. Tinotonga with justice. That's why it's justice. Justice is just. Majaji, ngatingomirai nemurayiro sezvaungori. Hazvina basa kuti muzanu PF, MDC, muchakuti, muzvakaita sei, anopinda chechi panodi. Let the law be applied just equally. Vana veZimbabwe, register to vote. And when you go to vote, vote for change. Let us go and vote. And let us be responsible Zimbabweans, responsible citizens. Nyika ndedu, tikasaisimudzira isisu, hakuna mumwe achauya achiisimudzira. MaChina will not elevate Zimbabwe from the dust kuenda to a jewel of Africa. No. They are doing business to promote their own country. Look at what China does. China inoita semunyika mayo. You will be shocked. You will be shocked. Kana Russia chaichai haimbofa yakavaka Zimbabwe kuti iwe yakanaka. Vanoitira kunovaka kunyika kwavo. Saka iwe neni ngatishare video iyi, tibatsirane kuvaka nyika yedu yeZimbabwe. Let's spread the word. It starts with registering to vote. And when the time comes to go and vote, we vote for change. And change that delivers comes with none other than, at this present moment, MDC Alliance, led by Advocate Nelson Chamisa. May God bless you and good night. Yes, we are live. Today we are live on Facebook and we are live on YouTube. Tinotenda Jesu, tinotenda Jesu, tinotenda. Thank you for watching, my dear brothers and sisters, and a very good evening. Good night.